Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the best new class mods in Baldur's Gate 3's mod manager. We got some very unique mechanics here that I haven't seen in any other classes before, and I'm actually mind blown at how good these mods are. So we'll dive right into things here first with the Weave of Counter Wizard class. Now this is a spellcaster that can counter a lot of other spellcasters. So with this class, what you got is the same spell list as the sorcerer, but it also allows you to use some of the other spell mods here. The big thing being you can absorb spell slots from other casters, so it's very dependent on having other casters around. So you have the class features the Weave counter. You have the power to handle the Weave to power your spells through your enemies, and you unlock spell slots. So the thing is, you can't really spell cast without having others around because you don't get that many spell slots. But as we level up, we get a lot of anti-mage abilities. Typically for anti-mage classes, they're like a fighter or a magical fighter. This is the first full caster version of something like that, and I think it's really cool. So you get to choose your spells similar as if you were to level up as a wizard, but the big problem being is you don't really get the same spell slots as the others do. So you continually will unlock different level of spells, but as you can see here, you don't get a lot of them. So you have to keep stealing spell slots from other casters to power up your abilities. And as we continue to level up, at level 4, we get things like the Harvest the Weave. So you get temporary health points equal to the spell level that you counter. So give yourself a bit of extra survivability based on this. And as we continue to progress, at level 7, we get some other features like the level 4 spells, but we also get the counter spell of the Weave. So once per short rest, you can completely counterspell a spell and deal 1 to 4 psychic damage. And then also you get the ability to do, I guess, this once per combat. So whenever you get into a fight, you do get, again, the ability to counter spell, but also absorb the spell's levels too, which is pretty cool. And up to level 11, you also get the counter spell of the Weave. So this basically gives you another version of the counter spell. So whenever you're going against enemies, you can just completely shut them down. So this one isn't overpowered. I think that's what I like best about this. As you can see, you just get your level 6 spell slots there, but you are going to use the other spell slots that you absorb to be able to cast your spells. So this is not overpowered, and I think that's what's interesting about it. I haven't seen a concept like this where you're going to be using other spellcasters that empower yourself. So that's pretty interesting. It's still in development right now, but this is the Weave of Counter Wizard class by I'm Owen, and there's a 3 in there too. This is a cool one. Now we also got ourselves a very fun one with the Evoker mod. This comes with 50 different passives, different spells based on the Evoker class from World of Warcraft. If you played that, you'll know it's like a draconic spellcaster. But this one is really cool because of all the unique abilities that come with it. And there's been a few different class mods based on World of Warcraft. This is another one, but it's really good. So this mod is made by Amner Taris here, and what it ends up looking like. So evokers were created to wield the magic of all 5 dragon flights. So you get the action here, the fire breath, doing 1d8 fire damage, inhale, stroking your inner flame, releasing it in a cone in front of you to deal 1d8 fire damage. So as we continue to level up, we get a lot of cool effects here. So you get to pick a draconic form here, and basically what these do is you become a flying dragon. You can only cast the evocation spells harnessing your dragon affinity. So depending on which of these you go with, if you want to be like a fire dragon or a lightning dragon, you get this draconic form spell. It looks really cool. So this allows you to switch between visage and draconic forms for spell casting. So whenever you want to use your draconic form, you'll apply this here and then turn into a mighty dragon. So pretty cool because you turn into a dragonborn here with the wings, and yeah, it's interesting. So you got your draconic form here, and then you're able to use your fire spells. So we got our fire breath here, the cone. So that's a pretty cool one. Yeah, I think that's interesting. I'll show off all the other spells too that you get here because there's actually quite a few of them. So at level 2, you get to choose your subclass. You also get the disintegrate, 2d4 cold damage, and dealing cold damage over time. We get to choice between the devastation and preservation. So devastation obviously being about damage dealing, preservation all about healing. And there's a secret third one that is in the works right now. So they're also working on the augmentation, which is a empowering kind of buffer style subclass. So I'll show off the devastation evoker here because everyone loves high damage. Damage is kind of meta in Baldur's Gate 3 over healing. So you get the Azure Strike, 2d6 cold damage. Each projectile does that damage. You can do it onto 2 enemies. You also get the Deep Breath, dealing fire damage. Another thing, this class is not super overpowered. I like that because there's so many powerful classes that just make the game really easy. The Living Flame heals 1d4 healing to allies and 1d4 fire damage for enemies for 2 turns. You get the class passive Honed Aggression. The damage of Azure Strike is increased by 20% and Living Flame is increased by 15. and Disintegrate deals 50% more damage. So you got these different spells that empower your other spells. As we continue to level up, we're going to get to pick more different class passives here. So we get the choice of Blast Furnace. Your Fire Breath damage deals damage over time over 2 turns more, or the Enkindled 10% more damage, and Healing on Living Flame. So again, this depends on the spells that you choose. It gets pretty strong. It's not, I wouldn't say it's broken, powerful, but it can be strong. You get the Verdant Embrace, fly into an ally and heal them for 2d8 heal health points, or heal yourself for the same amount. And you also get the Emerald Blossom here, grow a bulb from the Emerald Dream at your location. After 2 turns, heal all allies within 8 meters for 8 health points. And you also get the Pyre spell, Lava Ball of Fire, dealing 4 to 24 fire damage to the target and all nearby enemies. And we get to choose from different spells here. So you got the Obsidian Scales, increasing physical damage, or reducing physical taken damage by 2 times your Constitution modifier for 6 turns. You get the Quell, stop a spell from being cast. It's basically counter spell. Sleepwalk disorients an enemy for 10 turns and hypnotizes them. It's like a hypnotic pattern. And then we have the Landslide, conjure a path of mud towards a target, rooting them for 4 turns. Damage may cancel this effect. So pretty cool little abilities there. A level 7 or 6, we get ourselves another class passive. Tempered Scales increase armor class by 2. We also get the Enkindled, which gives us 10% more damage on our Living Flame, and the Permeating Chill. Your damaging cold spells reduce the target's movement speed by half for 2 turns. And then the Exuberance will above 75% health, your movement speed increased by 2 meters. Fire Breath cause your next Living Flame to target additional 1 target. And the Warp Hover now cause you to briefly warp out of existence and experience your destination. So a lot of different class passives that empower your spells. At level 7, we get ourselves the Eruption spell. So cause a violent eruption beneath the enemy's feet, dealing 4 to 34 or 32 fire damage and nearby enemies. You also get a choice of spells with level 2 and level 4. So Obsidian Scales, the Renewing Blaze, the flames of life surround you for 4 turns. While it's active, you have a 45% chance to heal back physical damage taken, and a 25% chance to heal back magical damage taken. Those of Lesser Restoration cauterize a ally's wounds, removing all bleed, poison, cure, and heal them for 12 health points. Sleepwalk, which you already covered, and Return, and bring back a dead member from beyond. So it's basically Revivify. And we also get ourselves some different spells like the Eternity Surge, doing 68 of cold damage, and the Shattering Star, doing 46 of cold damage, increasing the damage they take by 20%. That is cool. And Firestorm, doing 3 to 12 fire damage for all enemies for 3 turns. Also get to choose 2 class passives here. Conduit of Flame, you need to roll 1 less to hit a critical hit on enemies above 50% health. Hardened Scales reduces damage taken with Obsidian Scales by 1. Fire Breath now does 20% more damage. Living Flame does a little bit extra more healing. And Terror of the Skies, Deep Breath stuns enemies for 1 turn, which is actually really good because stun basically takes away their turn. As we continue to level up, we get even more abilities here with class passives. So Azure Strike can target another character. Panacea, Emerald Bloom, and Verdant Embrace heal you instantly for 2d4 health points. And yeah, it's actually a really fun class because of all these choices that you get. So this actually feels more like World of Warcraft because it's got all these different passives that empower your damage and things like that by like a set amount. So you get all these different spells again, and we get more choice of the damaging ones. So you get Engulf now, engulf your target in Dragon Flame, damaging for 32 fire damage or healing them for 40. And we get to choose 3 class passives here this time with increased damage on Pyre. Bombardments have a 20% chance to create an Essence Burst, and Essence Spell Bombardments increase by 1 turn. I think that's cool because it gives them spells like a long-term effect that just continually heats up and hurts the enemies over time. So yeah, with this class, you get all these different sub choices, many different spells. They do feel strong, like Dragon Rage, erupt with a Draconic Fury and exhale minor Pyre at 3 enemies within 18 meters for 9 turns. Essence Burst chance of occur is 100%. And then you also get Arcane Vigor, Shattering Star grants Essence Burst, and this is made to hit at twice as many targets. Renewing Blaze flies 1 nearby ally at 50% value. A lot of different abilities here. It's crazy. And then our final level here, we get to choose a few more spells here. We get to choose 2 more passives, and then more passives from this section here. This is really cool because there's so much that you can do to the character. So looking at it, you get like your Pyre spell here, which you can target someone. And level 3 version, it can only be applied to enemies, so we can't actually use it on our team here. Lesser Restoration we can use to if anyone's got any damage, we can, or any negative effects, we can heal them as well. Engulf we can use to heal our teammates, so we could use this after we accidentally, if we were to harm them with something like a firestorm, which we can drop down there. That looks really cool for the icon that it does, or the effects that it does. Get your fire breath here, so we'll do this and just hurt them so that we can go ahead and heal them with our engulf spell. So Jaheira's down health, we can use that. It makes a huge fire effect, but it healed her for 40. Pretty cool. So then you also got like disintegrate here, which you can use a cold damage spell. We're a red dragon, so that works a little bit differently, but yeah, this mod by Amner Terrace is really, really cool. I'm a big fan of these different ones, like the Demon Hunter as well. Evoker, very fun. Now we also got ourselves the Duo class. I love this mod. This is a very different one. Basically, what this lets you do is you get to fight alongside your Dream Guardian. This class is really cool. So this mod was made by Cheek, and basically what you get to do is, so you get to pick our adventuring partners, so it's your Dream Guardian. So you got the Squire here, kind of like a fighter. You got the Lackey, which is like a rogue, and then the Apprentice, which are spellcasters, Bard, Cleric, and Wizard. When you go with the Squire there, you get to choose a proficiency for them, and then you share your health pool and action resource with your Dream Guardian, so it's not overpowered. At our second level, we get to choose our subclass. So we got like Knight being a fighter, the Ringleader being more of a rogue, and then you got Spell Slingers, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard, and Artificer. So this is your personal class. So if you wanted to be like a Cleric, you can go with this, and then you get all the choices of the respective subclass that you choose. Now, what's nice about this class, again, it's not overpowered because you share all your resources with your duo. So this is really cool how it ends up working. So you get to pick all of your spells, you get to pick different tactics. And this is, I've done a video in depth on this, which I'll link in the description. But you got some cool abilities to move around with your adventuring partner. You do have to be mindful though, because if you get, if you have a setup where both of you get hit, you basically take double the damage. So it's a very strategic based class where you have to think long and hard about what you're going to do. It also has support up to level 20, and I recommend using that because it's not strong on its own. It's strong because you work with what you're given, and having basically two versions of yourself is really cool. But the big problem being, again, you share an action, you share health point resources. So it's not properly summoned for some reason, but basically you would have it as a follower here, and whenever you're in combat they get to move around too. So yeah, I'm having a bit of glitches right now with I think another mod that I was using before this, but yeah, you got a lot of cool abilities. You do share all the resources between the two of them, so you can't get too overpowered. And as you level up, they do get extra abilities here. So this Knights get the unyielding feature. You get to choose a universal cantrip here, so you can take things like Eldritch Blast, which is really nice, as a Cleric version class that I'm playing as. And yeah, you and your adventuring partner are immune to being frightened or charmed within 30 meters of each other. All of attack. If your adventuring partner may make a second attack during their turn, if they do, until their next turn, the next attack they made against them is made with advantage. So yeah, you can make it so that they get higher chance of getting hit, but also they can make an attack as well. So again, there's a lot of risk involved with this class, and you got to use the tactics that you're given here. Again, I did go over this in full detail. There's a lot to this class as it goes all the way up to level 20, but you get the gist of it. This is a very cool subclass, and I think this is one of the most ambitious class mods that I have ever seen because of the ability to bounce between you and your Dream Guardian. This is perfect for the lore of Baldur's Gate 3, so I definitely recommend giving this one a shot. It deserves lots of downloads, so go check this out. Dual class Dream Guardian mod. And finally, we got ourselves the Sorcus class. This is a cool one because it's a sorcerer and it's kind of a succubus combined into one. This mod was made by the Cheeseman83, and you get a ton of different spells and abilities with this. Another class that's not super like powerful, not like overpowered. You get the Malevolent Whispers here, which gives a 1d4 bonus ability checks advantage and deception checks, and instructing them on how to impersonate a bard, paladin, sorcerer, pact of the fiend, warlock. So a lot of cool little abilities you can use to buff up things. You also get the Inure to Inferno. Any fire damage you receive is reduced by your charisma modifier. And you get the Profane Beauty. When not wearing armor, you get a bonus to your armor class equal to your charisma, and any humanoid that you can see attempts a melee attack against you must do a wisdom save or become charmed for 1 turn. Now, like other succubus classes, we benefit from the charmed ability, and this allows us to set up even further damaging abilities. So it is, at the end of the day, also like a sorcerer, so it gets the meta magics and all the fun things that come with it. You get all the spells though, that's the thing, you get a ton of spells, and it's somewhat picked. Like you got like Mistress spells giving you specific ones. This does require Mistress spells compatibility because it does give you specific spells from there. You also get the Fiendish Charm. This is where the class really shines. So you use a charm to humanoids, and then later on we can just completely wreck any charm targets. So you want to apply that to as many targets as possible. At level 4, we get the Telepathic Command. So telepathically command a charmed creature to perform its action. So basically a command spell for anyone that you have charmed. So that's really cool. As further on in levels, we do get more abilities to mess with people that are charmed. Level 6, we have the Molten Masochism. Whenever you deal fire damage, you do 2 turns of mental fatigue. And the Scalding Sadism. Whenever you inflict a condition on a creature, you gain 2 turns of heat. So again, you further enhance yourself by dealing more fire damage. And you can see you get like things like Summon Greater Demon from Mistress spells. You get the Wall of Fire spell and a bunch of other ones here. So it's about charming and doing fire damage. And what's fun about this class, I like any of them that focus on like crowd control using charms and things like that. You also get some unique spells like the Hellflame Strike doing fire damage and fire damage. Then Planar Binding and the ability to summon in a otherworldly being. Level 10, you get the Seductive Gaze. When any humanoid that you can see your eyes begin to turn within 30 feet of you, must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, becomes distracted by desire, taking a 1d4 penalty to attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks. So you can set that up within 30 meters of you. That's actually a pretty large range. At level 11, this is where you get the Chains of Desire. So choose a nearby charmed humanoid that is distracted by desire to force them to make a wisdom saving throw. If they fail, they become one of your teammates, basically. So yeah, this is crazy. You can only do this once per day. So it's really, really strong because you literally, anyone that gets hit with your distracted by desire will become a teammate of yours. This, I don't even have to go on to explain why that's powerful. And at level 12, when you channel your burning passion in your magic, when you use heat convergence, you also engulf the target of an infernal hellfire for a number of turns equal to the number of turns of heat consumed. And infernal hellfire does extra fire damage, and it can't be put out like some of the other fires are. So again, a very powerful class that's focused on mostly fire damage. So this is your aura here, basically the distracted by desire. So whenever you got this, you got a bunch of different fire-based spells that you would be casting on the targets there. And yeah, it's pretty strong. So this is a fun one. I definitely would recommend giving this a chance because it's got the mental fatigue. It's got a lot of abilities that are based around applying fire damage and doing some different crowd control charms. Let me know though, which of these is your favorite new class mod in Baldur's Gate 3. I'll be covering more class mods over the next little while, so let me know if there's any class mod that you want to see covered. I also post build guides every single day, so there's always a new mod class coming for you to check out. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next video.